Hi, everyone. It's me, Linda B, and welcome back. So, today I'm going to do a reaction to a video with Stephen A. Smith. He's a very outspoken sports commentator, which we all have heard of. So, today I'm going to do a reaction to something called the high price of lawfare that the Dems are paying with the anti-Trump lawfare that they have against the former president. And it's in response to an article by Daniel Henninger of the Wall Street Journal. And of course, Stephen A. Smith is giving his response to that particular article, and I will give my reaction. And I kindly ask that you all give your reaction in the comments below. But before we get started, I kindly ask that you like, comment, and share this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. And I'm also on my way to 20,000 subscribers by the end of April. I'm already over 10,000, which I hit a week early. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world to me. Now, also, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Linda Bentley, and you can email me at chatwithmelindab@gmail.com. Now, let's get into it.
Got to touch on this subject right here. A recent Wall Street Journal opinion piece entitled "The High Price of Democrats' Anti-Trump Lawfare," written by Daniel Henninger, spoke of how most Americans believe the rule of law is better than the law of the jungle, but how that could change. According to Henninger, the newest buzzword in politics is lawfare, or using the legal system as a weapon against a political opponent. Henninger questions how many lawsuits, court motions, and judgments against Donald Trump the Democratic Party can actually chow down on. He also ponders about the high price the American system may pay for all of this in excess. Let me tell you something. It was a great opinion piece. I completely agree with Daniel Henninger of the Wall Street Journal, the opinion piece that he wrote in there, because we've got to get to a point where we're saying when's enough's enough. Donald Trump made a very salient point. I know you don't hear me say that often, but it's true. He made a very salient point a couple of weeks ago, or I think it was in the immediate aftermath of Super Tuesday, when he was talking about President Biden, and he was saying, come beat me. Stop trying to use the legal system in order to pull it off. Now, obviously, President Biden would say it has nothing to do with me. He's the president of the United States. He's not the prosecution in Georgia. He's not the prosecutor in New York. Okay, he has nothing to do with those things. So he may say, maybe it's true. But I find it very, very difficult to believe that everybody on the Democratic side is innocent. I mean, when you look at the inordinate amount of charges that are coming Trump's way, I mean, when is enough's enough? E. Jean Carroll awarded $83.3 million in a defamation suit against Trump. Okay. By the way, New York judge Arthur Egeron ordered Trump to pay a total of $450 million in a civil fraud trial over valuations of his net worth. New York State Attorney Letitia James says if the massive bond isn't posted, she'll seize Mr. Trump's New York buildings. This is according to the article in the Wall Street Journal. We know about what's happening in Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, all right, regardless of her own stuff going on with her and somebody else, Mr. Wade, who's also an attorney that she utilized to go after Trump, but that's a different subject for another day, what they've got going on here right now. She goes after 18 other defendants for violating the state's Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act in connection with the 2020 presidential election. The presiding judge dismissed 6 of the 41 counts. This is all according to the article here. You got Colorado, Maine, and Illinois took various legal actions to ban Mr. Trump from the 2024 presidential ballot. Efforts recently blocked by a unanimous Supreme Court decision. They got a 6-3 majority, 6 conservatives, 3 liberals, but unanimously they blocked this effort by Colorado.
I just want to pause right here, guys. So yeah, this, Stephen A. Smith is just going over, the article, the opinion piece with Daniel Henninger of the Wall Street Journal, and all of the different indictments and charges that are against former President Donald John Trump. And one of the things I wanted to comment on was when Stephen A. Smith talked about, Biden saying he doesn't have anything to do with what's going on, with Donald Trump and the charges and things like that. But I think he does. The reason I say that is because Fonnie Willis, it was brought up in the hearing, in the recent hearing in Fulton County, Georgia, in the Georgia election interference case, that Fonnie Willis visited the White House and with the J6 committee and met with Vice President Kamala Harris. This was back in February, late February of 2023, last year. So if that's the case, they log when they go in and out, and it was on the logs. So she was there, and the timing of it was very important to look at the timing of that. So it's believed that she met in regards to going after former President Donald Trump, that was why she was there. So, and I know since it was at the White House, Biden had to have known something about it. She met with his VP, Kamala Harris. So he knew what was going on. When I say he knew, I mean Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe. That's my nickname for him. So yeah, he was in on all of this. But this lawfare that they have going on, in my opinion, it will not work. So let's continue.
Colorado, Maine, and Illinois. You got the special counsel, Jack Smith, going after Trump on trial for a set of federal charges. One over possession of classified documents, another for the former president's actions the day of the 2021 Capitol riot. Okay, that issue is still up in the air. And in the meantime, we've got a situation where a guy by the name of Robert Hur, a classified document special counsel investigating President Biden, ultimately exercised prosecutorial discretion, saying the current president isn't exonerated, but won't be prosecuted, leaving the situation involving Joe Biden to the court of public opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much to get into. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to simply say this. Trump is kicking the Democrats, you know what? 91 charges. 4 indictments, 91 counts against him. He's been impeached twice. And he still ran away with the GOP nomination. It was a cakewalk. DeSantis couldn't beat him. Christie couldn't beat him. Nikki Haley couldn't beat him. Vivek Ramaswamy couldn't beat him. They can't touch him. And we're still waiting for him to go to jail. We're still waiting for him because supposedly he's done so much. Russian collusion. Remember all of that? We're still waiting for the jury. We're still waiting for the guilty verdict. We're still waiting for him to be incarcerated. We're still waiting for him to be seen in zebra stripes. You can't touch him. And now he's throwing this salvo. He said, yo, why don't you come beat me? Stop engaging in lawfare and using the legal system to push your political agenda. Come beat me. That's what he did. I do sports most of the time. That's the kind of language we want to hear, ain't it? Can you beat him or not? You gonna beat him? 4 different polls show that Joe Biden is trailing, that Trump is gaining momentum. You can look at the right and talk about their commitment to Biden's cognitive decline narrative. The fact of the matter is, in half of America's eyes, Trump is seen as damn near criminal. And he's still collecting more campaign dollars and more votes. He is the GOP nominee. I believe it's his daughter-in-law that's about to be the head of the Republican National Committee. If she isn't already. Are you going to stop him or not? This article is a very profound one. The high price of Democrats' anti-Trump lawfare. Because when the legal system is utilized this way and people see you getting away with trying to cause all of this ruckus towards him, as opposed to simply beating him at the polls, that gives them additional fodder to question the legal system. And once they do that, it gives them a significant license to be lawless and to engage in lawlessness, which will explain some of the mayhem and the nonsense we've been seeing in the streets of America that would have never been tolerated, even as late and as recently as Barack Obama being in office.
Just a brief pause again. So this, My question, my comment rather, is that the Democrats are scrambling. They know they can't beat Donald Trump. They know this. They're trying to use lawfare as what we're discussing right now. He's and just like Stephen A. Smith said, Donald Trump has been impeached twice, 4 indictments and 91 charges. And a lot of them will not even get to the actual trial until after the election, possibly after the inauguration, which, of course, at that point, Trump would pardon himself because he believes that he's innocent. He says he's innocent. And based on what I found out with what really happened in the last election, what really happened, January a few years ago, what really happened, he should not be going through all of this. If you've seen any of my previous videos, okay, see the one about the election with Trump and Biden facing each other on the thumbnail. I'll link it at the end of this video so you can watch that. So if that's the case, all of this is just a witch hunt. That's exactly what it is. I hate to sound like Donald Trump, but it is a witch hunt. Okay, prove that you can beat him the right way, fair and square. Don't take the punk way out. Prove it.
Or George W. Bush for that matter, or Bill Clinton for that matter. The nonsense that we're seeing in the streets today easily could be attributed to a level of lawlessness that people don't care about committing because they're seeing our politicians manipulate the system in such a way that they don't like it because it reminds them of things they've always felt about our government to begin with. Which is, by the way, what makes Trump sound like he had a lot of sense when he was comparing himself to the plight of black folks, even though we know better. Anybody black knows that ain't a problem Trump had. But he talked about being a victim. He talked about the system being rigged against him. He talked about the powers that be wielding and influencing a level of power just to make him uncomfortable for their own bidding, as opposed to it being legitimate. And you know what his ultimate argument is? The GOP nomination. Because if he is all of these things, why should he be allowed to be the GOP nominee? He's going to use that and say, I must be innocent. It's them. It's not me. And at least 74 million people, based on the numbers stemming from the 2020 election, are going to side with him. What about the 81 plus million that once sided with Biden? You sure they don't show up to help?
Wow. So that's pretty much the end of that video. So yeah, a lot of information. One of the things that I started to disagree with Stephen A. Smith on, when he was talking about the reason why there's so much lawlessness in the streets, and I know about the mob, thefts in the daytime, people running out with merchandise. Um, just going in and robbing stores, just taking merchandise. So I'm thinking it's because of the defunding of the police. It could also have to do with what Stephen A. Smith mentioned, them, people seeing that the people in federal government are just, doing whatever they want to do. So it gives them license to do what they want to do. Maybe, but I think it has more to do with the fact that there's defunding of the police in a lot of blue areas, and there's no one to really, police the streets like it used to be. And therefore, people know that there's a lack of, law enforcement, so that emboldens them to do whatever they want. That's my take on it. Not quite what Stephen A. Smith said, but that is my take. And what do you guys think? Because it's obvious that the Democrats are scrambling. None of the stuff that they thought would work against Donald Trump is working. He recently, and this is after this video that Stephen A. Smith did, the appeal, the amount that he was owed, what Judge Arthur Engeron said he owed, it was 454 million, has been cut down to 175 million. So now that's easier for Trump to come up with and he'll just go ahead and take care of that because Letitia James was talking about seizing his properties. Yeah, that's what she was talking about doing. And everything is just political lawfare because they know that they cannot beat Donald Trump. They know this. They didn't really do it the last time. You know what I mean? See my video linked at the end of this one. So all of this, all of this is just a farce. It's just a farce. Think about the things that the Democrats have done. He talked about, Donald Trump feeling like a victim and things like that. And, on the left, they talk about white privilege. I don't think it's white privilege. I think there's liberal privilege. There's like a privilege that liberals have, people on the left, that those of us on the right just simply clearly don't have. Because Benghazi with Hillary Clinton and those emails on a private server, why is she not in prison? Why? The dirt that was done to cover her tail. That's what I'm asking. Why is she not? I know why, because she's a Democrat. The rules don't apply. No one's above the law. Well, BS, I call BS, because if you're on the left, you're above the law. The things that Obama did to cover for Hillary, yes, he did. Him and Susan Rice to cover for weapons arms shipment that got 4 Americans killed. But yet, she walks free. And Donald Trump is going through all this hell. See, this is a conflict of ideologies, okay? Good versus evil, okay? Well, I said it before. It's really not about Democrats versus Republicans, black versus white, liberal versus conservative. This is about good versus evil. Okay, not everybody's good on the Republican side, and not everybody's bad on the Democratic side. But you got to admit, things have been done by the Democrats that they simply do not get in trouble for. And oh, by the way, with the documents that President Biden had when he wasn't even president, and it could not have been covered under any Presidential Records Act because he was the VP at the time under Obama, they just washed it away because you're an older man, cognitive decline. But in the meantime, Trump was actually president, and they stated that he had documents, even after he left office and things of that nature. But if Biden did it when he wasn't even the president, and Trump had them when he was president, and supposedly he kept some even after he left office, should be like a balance out. You let Biden go, why not let Trump go? And yes, Biden is going after Donald Trump. He has a history of that. Yes, you can see it in my Forgotten History, Joe Biden, most corrupt president. Yep. His family goes after people. Absolutely. So you guys give me your comments, tell me what you think. And I really believe that in the end, Donald Trump will be the president unless something unforeseen that the Democrats pull out of their hat of tricks. Unless they do that, then we should have Donald Trump back in the White House. And prayerfully, I will get a chance to vote for him for the very first time. Well, you guys, that's all I have for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel on my way to 20,000 subscribers by the end of April, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Just remember to share and tell everybody about my channel. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Linda Bentley, and email me at chatwithmelindab@gmail.com. You guys be blessed. And as I always say, march on, warriors.